Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm a soccer player at NGCU, and I am one of the hosts of the Beautiful Village podcast. And I would like to also introduce another host of ours, Kia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kia, Mikia Keith, and I am a women's basketball player at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. And I'm a senior, and I'm super excited to be doing the Wellness Wednesdays podcast with Jassy.
Yes, so excited. So we came up with this idea to introduce, a podcast focusing on mental health, as well as, anything else that we may want to talk about. But mental health was definitely very big for us, but also, as women in the sports industry, I think it's very important that we basically, make it more known to people, because I personally don't think that it's talked about enough, especially as an athlete, but also as an individual, just a human being. I struggle personally with mental health and, depression, and just a lot of things in that area, stress. So this is very big for me, and I'm hoping that I can benefit from this, as well as, anybody else who may be, going through the same thing or have went through it, or even to prevent it. I just hope that this would definitely open eyes to everyone and create a change. So that is my point of view with this podcast. I'm just here to help and to, just to make things more known. But doing anything that I can do is most important.
So kind of feeding off what Jassy had to say, I personally too have struggled and still am struggling with, mental health. And I think that it's just super important to kind of just shed a light on it. And I think the biggest thing for me that I really want to do with this podcast is to destigmatize mental health. I feel like a lot of the times people, especially athletes, feel like that they have to kind of, put up a front, because regardless of what level you're playing at, whether you're a professional athlete, a collegiate athlete, even in high school, you're really looked up to, you're seen as a role model. And so you probably feel like, I can't be my natural self, or I have to look like such a strong individual on the outside. And I feel like what people fail to realize is admitting that you are struggling with mental health does make you strong. And so that's something that I really want to kind of push out there. And that's my biggest thing with mental health. And the other thing I would say is what I'm really looking forward to with this podcast is just bringing in a whole bunch of different types of people, male, females, males, collegiate athletes, high school athletes, professional athletes, just so we can kind of get, just like a different standpoint and viewpoint of everybody, and kind of just be able to just sit and talk and, listen to people's stories, get to know people, build relationships with people and our following and our fans, and to kind of just let this podcast, let Wellness Wednesdays just be a safe space for everyone. So we can kind of just, knock down the stigma and, try to figure out just a better way to deal with it, and to just, So that's kind of my standpoint on it and kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you with everything you had said. I also think that even creating workshops could be something that we could, do, and to put out there. If, anybody wants to try it, maybe us ourselves, I think that would also be something that a lot of people could benefit off of. me personally, like, to share my story and why I'm so big on this, and why this is actually very beneficial to me. Um, so I had lost um, uh, my beloved in January, and it was like crazy. So emotional, I guess.
You're good, Jassy. Take your time.
But okay, whew, this is how I'm dealing with it. So, um, okay. So, like I said, this is very big because I struggled with depression, and you guys are like seeing my vulnerable side of me. Like, this is just me raw. So basically, let me get myself together. I lost my beloved back in January, um, right after my birthday, and you know, I was I was just I just traumatized. Like, from that moment on, just traumatized. And I'm very big um on God, and what he has planned for me, and everything else that comes with it. And at the time when everything had happened, you know because I think sometimes we all end up questioning God as to why certain things happen. And I ended up doing that. And back around that time, I was just questioning. I was like, why is this happening? Like, why did this happen? Like, why am I gonna feel like this forever? Like, I was just so negative. I was just negative, 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 negative. I was like, I'm never gonna heal. I'm never gonna want to be with someone ever again. I'm never gonna love. I'm never gonna have this type of love. I'm never gonna, it was just never, never, never. Or I'm not gonna have this, not gonna have that. So, um, you know, being that it's still fresh and it's only been a couple months, um, I've learned so much about myself this year alone, based off of that. Um, I had gotten closer to God. I had became more aware of my feelings and my emotions. Instead of me trying to ignore them, I had to face them head on. Because when you try to ignore however you're feeling, trauma, statin, whatever it is, you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be stuck in that one position, that one place, whatever it is. You're just gonna be stuck. And that's how I was for probably a good 3-4 months. Like, I was just there. Like, I was still not trying to believe, all right, this isn't true. This didn't happen. Like, I was just expecting other things to just to happen. So, I ended up, like, even reaching out to a therapist. And, I think there's this like stereotype, whereas if, like, if you go to therapy and you're like, you're weak, or like you're like crazy or whatever it is, when it comes to therapy, people are just so ashamed of going. And I think that, you know, that was probably one of the best decisions I made in my life. Like, saved me completely, because I like felt myself like I was like losing myself, but I was losing myself emotionally, mentally, physically. I was okay because whenever I'm in those circumstances, I'm an athlete, so I'm always working out regardless. And working out, and then I was in season, so everything was just, I was good on that part, but mentally, emotionally, I was just lost. So I'm still finding myself because everything is still fresh, but um, I became more in tune with my spirit, um, and just more aware of my emotions, and um, just not trying to ignore them and just let them, just leaving everything off to the side. So as a woman, the one thing that I could say is that I am proud of myself for how much I've grown since that time. And it's unfortunate that, it took that, but I look at, I look at it as there's another life after this life. So that just keeps me going every day. And so, yeah, that's like my little, journey. Still on it, still working on myself. I'm not perfect. I have flaws. But I definitely am proud of myself for, to just be here and being as strong as I am. So that's what I'm here for. If anybody needs, and if anybody needs anybody to talk to, I'll just listen. I won't even talk. I'll literally just listen. And yeah.
Whew. I would say my first thing is, Jassy, don't ever apologize for rawness, for being vulnerable, for being emotional, because I think that's exactly what this podcast is about. That's exactly what Wellness Wednesdays is about, is being able to be yourself, for us, for me and you, to be able to create this space for people to express their true emotions, to express their true feelings, because I think that a lot of people sugarcoat mental health, and like, I think we need to take that down. Like, this is like, you know what I mean? And so I don't think that you should ever have to apologize for feeling the way you feel. And I just want to thank you, for sharing your experiences. For me, I would say that my biggest struggle with mental health, and the reason why I really want to target athletes, is because my mental health stemmed from being an athlete. So I struggled with an eating disorder, still a little bit to this day, but it was really, really bad when I was probably my early teens up until probably my senior year of high school. Struggled with the eating disorder because I would see what certain female basketball players would look like, and I wanted to look like that. And I felt like I had to have this certain type of body image to be, to get to where I wanted to be. And so I really, really struggled, and it took me into a super duper dark place that took years and years and years of therapy, and even years and years to even be comfortable talking about and sharing about it. And so I just really feel like that I can use my experiences in a different way that Jassy can, because like I've never experienced anything Jassy had to experience. And so I feel like for my experiences, I'll be able to kind of just help people, and maybe, give people that outlet if people are struggling like me. My major, we talk a lot about that, where eating disorders, really target student athletes and stuff. And so I really want to, that's where I developed my love for mental health, like my love for supporting it. And so, yeah.
That your side and your reason actually motivates me, because literally, when I was going through what I was going through, I caught myself just losing weight, and I just had no appetite. I couldn't eat. I would try to. I lost about 20 pounds. I was almost 100 pounds. And I mean, I'm small. I'm 4'11", 5 feet really, but I used to be like around 135, 140. And then like throughout the years, I was losing weight, but I wasn't losing as much. Then, when everything had happened, I completely like was catching myself, I was losing so much weight. And I was also in um the spring season at the time. So it was hard for me, as an athlete as well, because I wasn't healthy at all. I wasn't emotionally healthy, mentally healthy. I wasn't physically healthy at that point. So, your story and your reason definitely is something that I can relate to.
Yeah. And I just think that like so many people, like from the outside looking in, people probably think we ain't ever struggled with nothing. Like from the outside looking in, we probably look like we have it all and everything's
Right.
fine. And oh, they're playing sports, full ride scholarships, nothing.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's a big issue too, because I remember when I first like was expressing to people that I was, struggling, and
Hmm.
they were like, well, what do you not like about yourself, Mikia? Like, what's the issue?
Yeah.
Like you're perfect. And it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't think people understand that somebody's idea of perfect or somebody's idea of being okay is not the same as anyone else. Like you never know what somebody else is going through. And I think that what also is super important is just like warning signs, like knowing when
Mhm.
somebody is struggling, like bringing awareness to those types of things. And that's why I'm just like so excited to just, start this podcast with you. And just so we can kind of, just bring awareness to mental health and just, kind of get this thing on the road. I feel like we have a lot of areas we'd like to cover. I know with everything that's happened today, with that verdict, I would like to talk about Black people's mental health, especially because I'm not going to lie,
Yes.
I've been struggling today. I've had to get off the Twitter,
Me
get off
too.
Instagram. I've had to, kind of just separate myself from that because there's so many areas and so many different types of things and subjects that we can talk about. And so I just think this is just going to be great for not just beautiful ballers but for everyone involved.
Everyone.
So
Yes.
super duper excited to just get this thing started.
Excited. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't I already know we have this is just gonna be amazing. We're just gonna, oh my gosh, I can't even explain it. That's how good it's gonna be. I'm just so excited, this being the first episode, I got so emotional, but every time, when it comes to mental health, I'm just ugh. But the more I get comfortable with it, I think it'll bring me out my shell. And I'm comfortable with talking to you as well. So, that's also another that plays a big part in me being vulnerable and soft and open, knowing that I could, I have someone that I could literally talk to and can relate to, and
Yeah.
who is, you know, who actually has the same um, similarities or type of drive, that I have when it comes to this. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Like you inspire me to want to learn more, want to help others, just the conversations that we've had and this short time even knowing you,
Yeah.
I just think it's just going to be something that's just going to be really great. And I just want to keep preaching that, I just feel like that this is a space and this is a place for people, for the guests who come on the show, for the people who listen to the show, for people who DM us. This is a place where you can be your true natural self and no judgments, no nothing, super duper open space. And I just think that that's what our society needs. I feel like a lot of things are always kind of, I already said the word sugar coated, but sugar coated and kind of not raw at all. And so I think this is just going to be just something great. And I think it's only going to go up from here.
That's it.
Yes,
that's all it's gonna do. It's only gonna go up, and I'm just so glad and so happy that I have you on it. You definitely do inspire me. Little do you know, you do inspire me. But I think we have a lot of time to get to know each other as well as our audience. So this is gonna be very big, and I'm excited and I can't wait. I think it's gonna be amazing.
Same girl. So I would say that is just kind of our, little get to know you kind of introduction for our first podcast. And our next week podcast will be featuring Cleveland Hughes. And so we are super excited to have him on the show, and we are looking forward to seeing you guys all next week.
Yes, to see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.